Very, quite contrary. How does your collection grow? With silver coins and slabbed coins all certified in a row. Hey guys, it's Ben the Coin Geek. Thanks for being here today, where we have kind of a tricky question from Barry saying, hey, what's the best coin you could buy for $100? I did do a video talking about $200 coins, and I'll mention that again, I think, later here. What's the best? I currently have $100 to spend on a coin. What do you think is the absolute best buy? I'd prefer something graded. I'm into classic commems, nickels, other denominations that aren't minted any longer. Okay, so here, this is just kind of fun because it's all theory and there's no right answers, just wrong answers. Let's talk a little bit about certified coins, $100 or less, and we're going to go ahead and eliminate a lot of things here. From the question, based on the question, I'm eliminating paper money, I'm eliminating world coins. I'm actually going to eliminate colonials just because I think that's kind of out of what we're talking about. Best coin. Now, for $100, I'm going to start eliminating some stuff that's a little bit more modern, if you'll say. Like, so I'm actually moving away from Buffaloes, Lincoln cents, Mercury dimes. I'm going to focus on things that are probably a little bit more in the classic range. Now, for $100, there's actually a lot of very cool coins that you can buy certified in the $100 range. And you can buy a lot of classic coins that are more what they call type coins. So a type coin generally is any coin that's less likely to be collected in series. So when people would put a type album together, it's the coins that usually somebody might only have one or two of. They probably don't have, the entire date mint mark run. So that's why I'm eliminating some of those ideas like Buffaloes and Mercuries and things of that nature. I'm eliminating Morgan dollars. So we're going to go more with stuff that's going to be type oriented because I think that's a little bit in the nature of what Barry's getting at. Well, let's start with a coin that you might not be able to find, but maybe you could, an 1875S 20-cent piece in good. There's a couple things that are wrong with this question to begin with, which is finding really nice original coins that are certified in the $100 price point or less is difficult because it costs oftentimes too much money to get the coin certified to make it worth someone spending the money on. Unless you are a collector that has had a lot of coins for a long time and you're like, hey, I'm spending the money here just like I would spend money on pizza, going bowling, or something like that. This is a very similar concept. If you just want to spend the money, it's okay. But if you view it as an additional price point to your coins, a lot of people won't spend the money. So you can start with that. I think that's a really tough coin to get. Most any of your half cents in like a nice very fine to extra fine, that would be a really great coin to have. Actually, the year 1800 is something that in good you could get for in that price point, and that is something that would be kind of a cool coin to own. Most any large cents in like an AU 50-ish, XF 45-ish would be kind of a cool coin to get. They're going to be in that price point. Most any of your 2-cent pieces you could afford in like an extra fine to AU condition. In 3-cent pieces, 3-cent silvers. I didn't put 3-cent nickels on here. I just put 3-cent silvers. In that like very fine plus kind of range. And here's where it gets surprising, and this is something that I noticed when I was doing my $200 and under price point, was that seeded coins, seeded dimes in roughly AU to AU 55, gray sheet on those is only going to be in that, $90 range. The gray sheet, which I don't have in front of me because I'm not good at what I do, the gray sheet is a publication that's put out monthly that most coin dealers use. They also have an online edition, is where I'm getting most of the price points from on this. It's not gospel, and it does have an awful lot of information in it that is, I think, very accurate to the marketplace. In general, you can thumb through it and find really interesting coins. Once again, putting a typeset together of certified coins for $100 is actually a great idea. You can afford a bust quarter, some of the early bust quarters, just in good. Once again, the hard part is finding the coin. And that's actually what's fun about coin collecting in general, is the hunt. Trying to find something is, to me, very exciting. And generally speaking, it's what makes coin shows so much fun. I mean, not to poo-poo coming into your local coin shop and looking around. I think that's always great as well. But a coin show, there's something about it where you go and there's thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of coins, and it's still difficult to locate the coins you're looking for. Some other tips, if you're trying to find some really cool type coins for $100 or less, oftentimes you'll be looking for coins in annex holders, because that seems to be where a lot of people who they feel like, okay, I can spend the $10 or $12 to get it certified instead of spending $25 or $35 to get it certified. That seems to be where a lot of type coins that are in that price point end up. And so that's something that if you're looking at a coin show, it may be the type of thing that you can find. There. Kind of a fun honorable mention is going to be a proof mercury dime in like a 60, 61, 62 grade. I've seen some of those. I know I said I wasn't doing mercuries, but I just think it's cool to have some of those early proof coins. And a proof mercury dime is in that price point still. I think the difficulty with the question, of course, is when he's talking about, you know, the best coin to buy, which kind of is an indicator of like if you just had to buy one. But that's a little bit like asking, Ben, I want to go out to dinner tonight. What should I eat? And it's like, well, there's just so much out there to go and see. And, you know, that's just kind of a hard question to answer. Same thing with the coins. I will say he mentioned Kamems, and if you can buy, there's a whole litany of Kamems that you can buy XFAU certified that are going to be $100 or less. Same thing with Cirque Bust half dollars. Like a lot of those are remarkably inexpensive. Just try to find them. They're kind of hard to find. Based on my conversation previously about buying coins that are under $200, it feels like there's just a really big value jump, in my opinion, in that 150 to 250 range from $100. And I know that's, you're literally talking about spending twice as much money on a coin from 100 to 200. But, you know, as I was going through my inventory, you know, here's a half dime AU55 PCGS for $165. And then jumping into the barbers, I mean, I have some barber dimes that are uncirculated for less than $200. There's an MS62 for $165, an MS63 for $179. And so originally I wanted to just kind of go through and find stuff. Here's a 1929 Standing Liberty Quarter, an AU58 for $155. So most of these were a little bit closer to that 150, 160 range. And those are really neat coins that I consider to be of value, right? So a part of the question is like, is something of value or not? And it feels to me like there's a lot of value in that 150 to 250 range. And the way I view that is just how infrequently do you see the coin versus what the price point is? You know, so when I see a really nice AU Standing Liberty Quarter, I always think this has got to be, you know, $200 or $300, you know, not 150, 160, just because you don't see them that often. And same thing with barber dimes, uncirculated for less than $200. That just seems like weird to me because it feels like I never get them in anything but VG, AG. And so that to me is a value proposition, right? And so I know that Barry's asking about best buy. And so to me, I do think value proposition. So undoubtedly, there's some coins that popped into your head. If you can use Barry's parameters and avoid some of the stuff that he said to avoid and focus on the things he said to focus, go ahead and leave your comments down below. Or just tell me about what's the best coin you think that you bought for $100 recently. We're going to put recently on there. I don't need to know what you bought in 1968 for $18.78 that today is worth $350. That's not what we're doing here today, folks. So anyways, thanks so much for being here. I'm Ben the Coin Geek. You can subscribe by clicking on the owl button in the corner and watch more videos on the right side of the screen. Thanks.